Is the manosphere really about helping black men become better black men, or are they just a bunch of black bootlicks? Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. A couple of weeks ago, Fresh and Fit decided to have known white supremacist Nick Fuentes come on their podcast. And as Nick Fuentes was on their podcast, they had a group of black women on that podcast who encouraged Nick Fuentes to say the N-word, which is what he did. And then there was an image of one of these black women hugged up on Nick Fuentes, and other pictures of these black women basically taking pictures with a known white supremacist. Now, I had to shake my head about this incident when I heard about it, because it just shows me how low black people have fallen, that they'll go out here and give a forum and a space to a known white supremacist. Now, when I first heard about this incident, I heard about a lot of black men talking about how bad the black women behaved. But when I look at this whole incident from a panoramic perspective, I gotta call out Fresh and Fit as well. And I have to call out Fresh and Fit as well because both of these men are supposed to be part of what they call the manosphere. And this black manosphere basically shows me that it is a space that has become completely compromised since its inception in the days of 2018 when O'Shea Duke Jackson asked me to be a part of it. And when I was a part of it, I originally heard that the mission was supposed to be a space for black men to work with other black men towards improving themselves and working towards networking to build and support black-owned businesses. I thought it was supposed to be a place where black men were supposed to sharpen other men. Unfortunately, over the last couple of years, the black manosphere has turned into the black minstrel sphere, and as it is turned into the black minstrel sphere, we have seen many members of the black minstrel sphere going out here, looking to go out here and gain the attention and approval of white people and known white supremacists like Nick Fuentes and alleged white supremacists like Just Pearly. And instead of looking to empower black people, what they look to do is go out here and bootlick and try to gain the favor of these known white supremacists, where they create a covert contract where they believe that if they go out here and support these supposedly more socially popular white supremacists, then their platforms will get a boost and they will be able to gain access to a larger audience of white supremacists. And that's the most mind-boggling thing that I have heard as related to these behaviors. I mean, why are you going out here looking to gain the attention and favor and approval of individuals who hate you? That's the critical question I gotta ask many of these members of the manosphere. Why are you out here looking to gain the attention and favor and approval of people who have actively are part of groups that actually hate black people? I mean, this makes no logical sense. If you're a manosphere that its original mission was supposed to be about improving black men's lives, how does it improve black men's lives to be out here associated with white supremacists? And again, another critical question that I gotta ask your Fresh and Fit and many of these other members of the manosphere. I mean, the manosphere, as I've seen it, is completely compromised, and this just shows me how far it has sold out, because it's no longer about improving the lives of black men or even providing examples of being a role model for young brothers to be a strong, masculine black man who's ready to lead. No, these black males, what they want to do is go out here and follow down a road that is basically going to lead to their own demise, because a white supremacist has no interest in empowering a black man, and only a fool would go out here and have a white supremacist on their platform. Now, when I first heard about this story, there were many YouTubers who wanted to turn this into a gender war topic, where they wanted to talk about the behaviors of these black women on this Fresh and Fit show. And yes, the behaviors of these black women were extremely dysfunctional and had me shaking my head. But it was the men who coordinated this program that turned it into a certified minstrel show. So I gotta hold these black men accountable, because it was their podcast where they allowed this minstrel show to go on and allowed themselves to be disrespected, because you allow a known white supremacist on your space to go out here and disrespect you right on your platform, and allow these black women to be encouraged to go out here and say the N-word instead of checking any of that mess. Again, showing me the weak leadership of black men who want to go out here and just tell half of the story, talking about, oh, it's the black women. Yes, the black women were ratchet on that show. Yes, those black women were out here deifying and worshiping that white man, but it was these black men who invited a known white supremacist onto their platform and did not go out here and check said white supremacist. No, it was those black men who went out here and laid the foundation for all of this disrespect to go on. And when I look at this whole situation with Fresh and Fit, again, I cannot even call these black men at all. No, these are buck dancing, bojangling, steppin' fetchin' minstrels who are bootlicking for some butter biscuits, and are going out here bootlicking for butter biscuits, hoping to go out here and hoping to gain enough favor with white supremacy, thinking that if they go out here and put on an Amos and Andy show, they will go out here and gain enough favor that maybe somebody in the mainstream media will go out here and either give them a platform where they can be seen on the mainstream, or people will go out here in Hollywood and possibly want to give them some sort of forum. But they're not going to get any sort of forum, because if you don't have any sort of dignity or self-respect to stand up for yourself as a black person, then nobody's going to respect you. And that's basically what I saw black men basically throwing away their respect, all to gain their favor and approval of racist and white supremacists. And again, you'll have guys out here talking about it's the black women. And again, I'm going to go into the black women in a minute, because yeah, these black women who they had on this show were really acting ratchet and raggedy, going out here putting arms around Nick Fuentes, going out here hugging up on Nick Fuentes, going out here encouraging Nick Fuentes to use the N-word. Yes, these are some ratchet and raggedy black women who basically prove the late David Carroll's point about how some black women out here deify and worship white men, how they will go out here looking to gain the approval of white men, how they seek to get the attention of white and non-black men like Nick Fuentes. I mean, you have black women who are just as dysfunctional as this, but what I find is interesting is many YouTubers won't talk about the dysfunction of those black males on that show, the producers who set this show up, the fact that you had Fresh and Fit up there, sitting up there laughing as these women are using the N-word, a hate word directed at disrespecting both the black man and the black woman. I find it, again, disturbing that everybody wants to talk about the black women in this situation. And again, the black women are accountable for their dysfunctional behavior, but I look at the man who's supposed to be leading those women, and it's the black men who are leading these women to go out here and encourage them and enable them to participate in this dysfunctional behavior. I mean, any other man out here would have already, first of all, never invited a Nick Fuentes, because they would have said, look, this guy is a white supremacist. He's not coming on my platform. I don't care whatever talking points he has. I don't have anything to say to somebody who is a white supremacist. Their points have no place on my platform. I mean, that's my policy on my platform. When racists would come to my live streams, I would block these individuals, and I would draw a line, because again, my respect is more important than their attention or their approval, and my respect is more important than trying to gain favor with those who hate me. That's the way I've always seen it. But these guys, they decided, hey, all right, getting the attention of this white person is more important. So they go out here and show me that they really don't understand the concept of respect, one, and two, don't understand the concept of leadership, because a leader does not go out here and have a racist come on their platform to go out here and openly disrespect them. Moreover, they don't go out here and encourage black women to participating in disrespectful behavior, and like going out here and saying the N-word. No, a man goes out here and checks that behavior by shutting that stuff down from minute one. When Nick Fuentes' people come to him talking about, oh, we want to have Nick Fuentes on your platform, the first thing they do is politely decline and say, I don't go out here and have racist on my platform. That is what a man of character goes out here and does. Moreover, he goes out here, and if he has women out here talking about this kind of guy, he checks them by saying, you're not going to be talking about this type of guy on my platform, and you're not going to be going out here and using this kind of language or encouraging people to use this kind of language, because this is hate language. Because if they can't say it, we can't say it. And what I saw on that whole Fresh and Fit podcast, in the clip that I saw, was not a podcast. No, I saw a podcast degenerate into a minstrel show, and this minstrel show was all about trying to prove a white supremacist point, that one, black people are not intelligent, and two, black people are just there to be entertainment for white racists, because that's basically what Fresh and Fit were for Nick Fuentes. Again, as they were buck dancing and bootlicking for those butter biscuits, they were out here providing entertainment to racists, basically proving their point. And as they were sitting there laughing with Nick Fuentes, as he was saying the N-word, they were laughing at Fresh and Fit and all those black women on that podcast. That's what was going on as that podcast was going on. But sadly, most of the black folks, they could not see this at all. And even worse, you had many YouTubers who saw this as a gender war talking point, but it isn't about gender war. It's about black people, both men and women, not having enough of intangibles of character to understand that that whole podcast was nothing but disrespect directed at black people. And the sad part is, you had black people directing disrespect at ourselves as related to being in the presence of a racist white supremacist. Now, this is the second most embarrassing incident I've seen that the manosphere has orchestrated. The first was when the manosphere embraced Just Pearly with open arms. The manosphere looking to go out here and try to gain clout, because Kevin Samuels went out here and told everybody that he was going out here mentoring Pearly, showed me how completely spellbound these individuals were, because little Miss Pearly comes out here and starts talking to Kevin Samuels, who basically was a plant set up, I believe, by social media to control the narrative of the black community. And as Kevin Samuels gets involved with this Pearly, what happens is the other guys start getting involved with Pearly, not understanding how they are being misled to go out here and allow white supremacy to try to get an opportunity to take control of a black male social media space. And as they take control over that social media space, what they want to do is be able to control the narratives of that social media space by having black people get back into gender war talking points. And that was the first time that I've seen, again, the manosphere basically being manipulated by white supremacy and social media companies. They use Kevin Samuels to go out here and have him and Pearly to go out here and control those black people. And as those black people go out here and see a white woman like Pearly, they get spellbound. And as they get spellbound by that bust down, what they do is go out here looking to gain her favor and approval. And she's out here again with these black YouTubers, and then goes out here with a known white supremacist like Nick Fuentes, and what they do is start bootlicking and buck dancing, making excuses to try to justify just Pearly. And it just shows me again, this was the start of the manosphere getting compromised, and now we have the fresh and fit, again, 2 more members of the manosphere going out here and getting involved with Nick Fuentes once more, showing me that this manosphere isn't about improving and the quality of life for black men, I believe. No, it's all about these black men looking to go out here and bootlick and buck dance for the favor of white supremacists. And it shows me, sadly, how far the manosphere has fallen. It has gone from a place that was about black male improvement to, sadly, just completely falling apart with the start of the video I did about black men and passports, where we started to see the crack as related to this manosphere, and then further started to see the cracks further start to form with things like the Save Yourself black man, and then them getting involved with Kevin Samuels and Just Pearly. And now we see Fresh and Fit basically showing us that the manosphere is nothing more than a minstrel show, but you'll have everybody talking about the black women who are ratchet and are raggedy. But when you look at the big picture, you see it was black men leading the charge, and again, black men leading the charge and then trying to say it's just the black women. Well, who invited the black women on the show? Critical question. And who invited Nick Fuentes, a white supremacist, on the show? And who did not check Nick Fuentes or those black women, even though it was their show? That's where I see the bigger picture as related to this whole situation, with all of these buck dancing bootlicks showing me that on many sides we've got a big problem. And it goes back to a live stream I did in 2022 when I talked about America's bootlick problem. We have a major problem in the black community, and it is black bootlicks who are the buffer class. These are the individuals who are a major problem in our community, because if we want to improve the quality of our life, we've got to acknowledge we've got a bootlick problem, because it's these bootlicks who will go out here and look to undermine any efforts of black empowerment. And we've got to find out who the bootlicks are and cut ties with these bootlicks, because these bootlicks, they are just, again, tethered to white supremacy. They want to remain in the sunken place. They want to remain at the bottom of the world, trying to get crumbs from the master's table in a covert contract. They don't want to get tangibles, because tangibles mean they have to be responsible for themselves. And these bootlicks, again, are a clear and present danger to all foundational black Americans, because they are not about, again, stepping up and taking ownership of self, taking responsibility of self, or taking power of self. No, what I saw in that Fresh and Fit podcast, again, showed me how far we have fallen from the days when I was growing up watching The Cosby Show and going to college. No, in the 90s, I saw black people trying to move forward, but it's bootlicks who try to move us backward, because they're sitting there, again, putting on these minstrel shows, and again, putting on entertainment for racists and allowing them to have their smooth world. So I look at that whole situation, and it makes me shake my head, because this is the most embarrassing thing I have ever seen. And it's embarrassing that you have black people in mixed company going out here and promoting anti-black things like racial slurs and hugging up on white supremacists, inviting white supremacists to their platforms, and they're sitting there trying to make it, oh, it's the black women about this. No, it's about the black men. And what I see here are a group of weak black men who are not even fit to be called men at all. Now, if you want to learn more about what makes men dysfunctional like this, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find it on other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to learn about the whole spellbound mindset of individuals like these that I talked about, you can pick up my novel, Spellbound, and learn how spellbound black people go out here and are looking to fit in a black box that's acceptable to white people, and are willing to do things like sacrifice their dignity and self-respect to fit in that black box and be acceptable to white people. And if you want to pick up many of my other books on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Minstrel trilogy, my vampire novel, Eternal Night, my sorority novel, The Thetas, and other books in my nonfiction as well, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart and Target. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.